Welcome, welcome. Coming in to do another of those last minute lives. A short one, but in here. For those watching later, thank you for watching. And I do sit and wait for people to join in and see who I have and let the room fill up a little bit. So it's a little bit of empty space in the beginning, but here we are. So I do see a couple people joining in. I'm just waiting for Felicia. Just waiting for you, Felicia. Hello. So I just want to stop in. Got a couple things to talk about. Hello, Tracy Jewett. There's a few people. Hi, Leanne. So we're just letting the people come in a little bit here. And I'm opening up on my phone so I can see, but also so that I can show some of the things that I'm coming in to talk about. Felicia, me and my mom had a crazy thing the other day. She drove back from BC a few weeks ago, and the car was making weird noises. The other day, came to find out the fire was falling. The tire was falling off. Was it the tire, not fire? Was falling off. And he's surprised we even made it anywhere, thanks to whoever was right? You had those angels looking after you. You had those guardians watching over you. Don't you just love that? That's just such gratitude for how protected we really are. Hi, everyone. Hi, Liz. And Linda, hello. And who else we got? Cynthia and Danielle. There's Mom. Danielle and Pat, Tracy, Kristen, Melissa, hello. Sabrina, Karen, hi. Teresa, you finally did get in alive. You're always on my replays. Always doing catch up. Good evening, Wendy, Sherry, hi. Hello. I am well, Sabrina. I am well. I was in Edmonton all day today. I had a big day, did a big group reading in Edmonton. So I'm not going to be in here very long, but I was down laying on my couch, resting my eyes and my really bad back. And I just had this desire first to go to the gym. I still haven't made it to the gym yet today. Trying to strengthen my back before surgery. And I just, instead of the gym, I ended up here in here. So I'm in here. Jennifer. Oh, that baby. See, Taurus baby now. It needed to come as a cusp. It needed to come. Aries is like in this rush, whereas Taurus is so much more slowed down. It's like it just slows down, goes into that slowed down energy. So now the baby's like totally coming in on zone time. I feel like it's very soon though, Jennifer. I do. I feel like it's soon for you. I'm like, come on, little one, time to come in now. But yeah, I just wanted to stop in short little visit. I have a lot of angel realm around tonight. Feeling a lot of the angel realm. I have a lot of stuff to say about what's coming in. Have a lot of I have a lot of things coming up, a lot of classes coming up, a lot of new things coming up, a lot of weekend things. So I have some weekend classes that are coming up. One is just a one day, and one brings me back into what a lot of people have been asking me to start teaching again, which I took a break from because of all of my other programs. But I do have a psychic class coming up, connecting, strengthening your psychic abilities. And it's a Saturday class online, all online. So you can be anywhere in the world and take part in that class. So I have that coming up soon. Destiny. I lost my voice. It's 80% gone. My toddler passed. Oh, her little virus onto you. Well, that's trying to tell you to just rest. Hello, Lisa and Jennifer. And just when I was waiting for the countdown to come on, Lisa, I just seen my email. Okay. So we do have a big uh, celestial appearance happening. So there is a lot of the angelic realm that's very, very present around us today, tonight. We do have a lot of Metatron energy coming in. If you don't know much about the angelic realm, think of virtues. Think about the best aspects of ourself amplified. And that would be the angelic realm, like the best versions of ourselves amplified. It is the aspects of ourself often that we can't even imagine being. So, like the avatars of the superheroes of the possibilities of what we can be. I hope that makes sense because that's how they appear to me. That's kind of how they come through to me. That's how I pick them up often is they are like the virtuous self that we can't even imagine being. They're like the superhero kind of energy that exists within us when we need strength, we need courage, we need to feel that sense of being confident, to have the true pride, not ego's pride, but the true sense of pride, and also that sense of understanding, humble through humility, also comes with that angelic realm. So we do have a lot of that celestial healing energy coming in. I know they're here for us. I know they're here for a sense of needing something more within our world right now and around us. So we do have them. Uh, I'm just trying to read some of the comments because once I start channeling, I can't read if you're new to my page and you're wondering why is she not answering us when she's talking, it's because I am channeling. And so when I'm channeling, I am channeling through the messages that are coming through. I am listening to everything that is out there and I am deciphering the message and being able to decode it and communicate it and get it through. So I'm not so much in my Corrie self like this, what you're seeing me, but I'm not connected to me. I'm connected to the divine. I'm connected out there. So it's hard for me to get the messages out, plus be able to read what is happening over here. That's why whenever I'm doing other stuff like teaching in classes, there's always somebody there to watch over me and take care of the other ends of this because I'm not there. So I'm not ignoring anybody, just so you know. It's very different from when I'm picking and choosing each person and I can stay connected to your energy. There's a difference in me being connected to human energy and being connected to spirit out there. So that's what's happening. So I'm trying to read some of these comments before I start to give some of these angelic celestial messages that are coming through. I feel my youngest brother with me today. I've been saying his name all day. There's been a lot of animal energy around today. A lot of our animal loved ones are very much with us. My voice is not the best. Like I said, may not be in here very long. I was talking like for hours today. I was in a group session all day today. So, Sabrina, I hope Sabrina, I hope today's message, like the group message, the collective message will make sense for you. Because there is like a lot of shifts that are happening for it, but it's shifts that are for our highest good. It is shifts that are actually serving us well for the next phase of our journey, for who we're becoming. So, chances are it is very divinely guided, the position that you're moving into and the direction that you're taking. Hello, and I hope you're feeling okay. I hope you're feeling better, Brenda. And hello, Edie and Moles. Hello. Right, the world definitely needs the angelic realm right now. Yes. My cats are seeing things around the last couple of days, Stacey. Oh, yeah. There is so much that's going on, guys. Like, it's so crazy how much we have happening. Hello, Lisa and Beth and Angie. Hello. Michelle, hi. And if I've missed anybody, Eileen, hi. Marcia, hi. Anyone else I've missed? Sorry. Just the names are scrolling by. So For those who have been wondering when I'd be going back into some of my psychic medium teaching work of those type of things, and not always the coaching or the empowerment transformation type of work that I do. I am coming back into some of the real the real woo woo of my work. I'm coming back into, and I have a 1 day class that's coming up. I think it's in June. May, I'm trying not to overbook May because I have another grandchild that's going to be born. My daughter's due on Mother's Day. And so I'm trying not to overbook, but I'm just going to go in here and just look. Just give me a moment here to see what I got. So, strengthening your psychic abilities. And it's all on, if you're on YouTube, you'd have to go to Facebook to see this or go to my website, CorrieThorne.com. So, strengthen your psychic abilities. I'll show it on my phone. So, that class is coming up on June the 11th, and it's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It is a 4-hour class. It's all online. And it's like, what I do is I help you be able to strengthen, to open up that third eye, to be able to open up the crown chakra, the spiritual connection that we make, cleanse, do a lot of cleansing work like around the aura, making space for more of you is what we do. Be able to see that we're so much more than this human body. You're so much more than this. And we get so tied up into, oh, I feel like, it's like, oh, I walk into a room and I feel like I'm feeling this. But what are you feeling and why are you feeling that? And so our connecting deeper into that, strengthening that psychic ability is not just for going to work at this work. It is actually to be able to also to help you to be able to trust you. Because what we're doing is I'm helping you to be able to interpret the energy so that you're not taking everything personally. So you're not taking the world personally when you wake up in the morning and you get up and you're just like, you feel like, oh God, I don't have the energy for this today. I am tired today. I don't know why. It's like my day is starting off bad. Is it really your day is starting off bad, or is it the alignment of the planets? Is it something that is out there in the energetic field that is affecting the energy of you? Because you are energy. We are all energy. And so so this class that'll be on June the 11th will be helping to do this. And of course, it helps you to gain confidence in being able to trust you, not to second doubt yourself. Have you ever asked yourself? I got a question for everybody before we even go any farther tonight. When you doubt yourself because somebody else has thrown things at you that made you like second guess yourself or to lose confidence in yourself, and you know how quickly you go in and you doubt you, how fast you doubt you. You're like, oh, what did I do wrong? Or how can I become that better person for all of those people? Why is it that you go to blaming, shaming, guilting you first instead of questioning the behaviors, instead of doubting the people who said that to you? So if somebody said to you, you know what, you're just a shitty person, and you go, oh my God, what did I do? Why am I such a shitty person? You doubt you before you question them, before you start to doubt like them, like what if they're fucking wrong? What if they're not even right? Right? So why is it's so easy for us to go that way, right? And so we doubt ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. And that's getting stuck in our heads. That's being in those mind games, and that sense of being so programmed and controlled to second guess and doubt yourself. When we work in this industry, for us who truly work at this as a professional living, we don't have doubts. Like once I tap out of me, out of Corrie, and you go in, it's like, you know what you know, and it's like, I don't know the outcome. I don't know why that just came out. I don't know where that just came from, but it served its purpose. But there's no ego, right? There's no nothing. And you trust that. Well, in your relationships, if you got somebody who's doubting you, or somebody who's like triggering you with their insecurities, and they want you to feel insecure, you will doubt you before you'll doubt them, before you'll believe them, before you'll believe in yourself. You will believe their story before you believe in yourself. What kind of bullshit story is that? And where the hell did we ever get that bullshit story from? And why does that have such powerful control over you? Why does that own you? And that's a big part of our message tonight. It's like, how did that have such a control over us? And we are so shifting into this energy. And if you follow anything in the shifts of how we move through the ages, like we go through like the age of Aquarius, we're going through the golden, like we've gone through these golden ages and the ages of Aquarius and the ages of Pisces, like the Piscean years, which the Piscean years was back 2,000 years ago in the age of the whole Jesus cycle. And as we go through those cycles, this is a part of the shifts that we're making now, and a part of the changes of us and leveling up in who we are, having, letting ourselves level up. And if we're going to level up, we also have to emotionally and spiritually grow up. We also have to become so much more aware that we are much more than what we've been told. But we also learn the ability of questioning the systems, questioning instead of just believing. It is, it's amazing how we get so labeled for questioning shit, instead of like, just accept that we said this about you, just accept that that's your diagnosis, just accept that that's who you are. But what if that don't feel right in your body? What if your body is telling you that don't feel right to me? And you're nodding and you're shaking your head and you're like, no, no, no. Or you're going, oh, my gut, that doesn't feel right in my gut. But then you neglect that and you go against it because the system says, or the writings say, or something says that. A huge part of what I really teach is the fact of learning to trust yourself. Really learning that, if we're going to be even in spirituality, and this bugs the shit out of me of how they come out with these like step-by-steps to awaken, step-by-steps for your psychic abilities. Well, no, there's all these things that are possibilities that could happen, but they can all happen differently. They can all happen in different times. Everything doesn't have to happen at one time. Everything doesn't happen exactly. Your experience is not going to be like somebody else's experience, or it might be just like somebody else's experience. You may be on a whole different journey. It's the same thing when someone says, oh, you're wrong. That's not how you teach that. That's not how it happened. Well, I'm in my experience. You're in your experience. And I want people to have that freedom. And that's kind of the energy we're moving through. But we're also stepping into knowing that if we level up as humans and we lose that sense of wanting to be more than the next, or that master manipulator energy, then we truly can do the right things for the right reason, which is, that part of our super ego, which is also like that of the celestial realm, because the celestial realm is trying to teach us and guide us that we can all work together, and that we can work together with parts of ourselves and pieces of ourselves of who we are. And we will have a lot less doubt and a lot less insecurity. We will have more beautiful, healthy confidence in who we are, because we're not so tied to, if you don't get it this way, the in the box way, that you're going to be a failure in life. And actually, myself and a few family members were just talking about this, and none of us were the A students in school, none of us, and pretty much being told that I would never do nothing with my career choice. Another family member was told, you're going to end up in jail. Another one told they would never be nothing, like they'd never be able to amount to anything because they couldn't pass these tests in school. And all of us that we're talking within my own family are all highly successful people out in the world who did not fit into the mold and did not succeed in the school system, because we didn't do the step by step, and we didn't belong in the box, and our minds don't work that way. We don't see things that way. I don't connect or commute that. I don't get that energy that way because I'm not made that way. And so we're all made in this authentic, unique self to be able to learn, grow, evolve in different ways, and being able to trust that. And that's a big part of why I teach so much about psychic work, is because I I help you be able to go into that inner self and look inward, but to be able to know your human eyes can lie to you, but that when we have a healed mind is that we're willing to think beyond the fact of what we think we just seen. But we can also go into the God eye. We can go into what we call the third eye, connect in. You can close your eyes and you can see. I can see my eyes opened or closed, spirit world, what's in other realms, things that are happening, things that are going on all the way around me. I don't have to close my eyes. I don't have to imagine it into creation. It is right there. And why is it right there? It's because I know that we're so much more. I know that we're so much more than this little world that we exist in. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't everybody go quit in school, because school still has a purpose. And it's just not designed, because systems are designed for for this. It's not a bad box either. It's just that that's not everybody, right? That's not who we are. And so that's not who we all are. And so it's that ability to be able to know that, from trusting your instinctual self, being able to connect in a different way, is that you can even make it through a box system and still go out and succeed in great places without doubting yourself. So what we're talking about is that if you've been conditioned or told that you can't do something and you believed it, and then you said, no, I can't. They said I would never be able to. That will never happen. That's not possible. Well, I have a lot of proof in the pudding in myself and the people in my world and the people I've either worked with and trained, that we know that to not always be the truth. And so that you'll know in your own body if it feels right or if it doesn't. Right? And so trusting that and connecting to that. And that's very much the way that we are shifting in how we connect with systems and how systems work. And so that we are not so step by step, not to be totally, go wild, but to have some sense of order. When we know to do the right things for the right reason, that's when we know the power of what it means to be in leadership, to be in that inner authority, that sense of being able to trust thyself, because we know what is right and what is wrong to the moral degrees, to be morally right, to be morally wrong, those type of things. And so that's really where we've seen a lot of shifts happening. Mm-hmm. Isn't that so true? Let me go back up here. Terry Ann is having her first baby May the 9th too. So, oh my goodness, Teresa, we're going bananas around the same time. I love it. Hi, Chrissy. And Raquel, hi. And Lorene, hello. Felicia, I always think that I'm like, is a full moon, my head hurts, right? Or is it going on and my anxiety is bothering me, right? So it's like really, and asking yourself those questions, like, is this or is that? If it's not that, then take that away. And so it just kind of shifts and moves that. It's like you just see that energy move, right? It's like you feel something move when you learn to interpret and communicate with that energy that you're feeling within you, so that you know that it's not really you. Like moon cycles, everything changes in season, everything affects us. We are a part of that so much. And the more sensitive you are, the more that you feel that. Destiny, I think I doubt myself like that all the time, because always trying to see the goodness in people, even if they have some faults to them. Yeah, so even if you can see the goodness in them, you can see the spirit, is that you sacrificing yourself to them, you giving up all the best of you for them, is never going to make them bring out the goodness in themselves. And no matter how nice you are, no matter how freaking kind you are, no matter how sweet you become to people, no matter how much you become that sacrificial freaking lamb, no matter how much you do that, you're never going to be able to make somebody be a better person. You're just not. It's not possible. So most times you're just, why sacrifice yourself for that, right? And don't do that. It's just so not worth it. So not worth it. Because hi, hi Raquel. I think I said hi to you, Raquel. But I said Rachel. Yeah, Rachel, Raquel, Victoria. Hi, Lisa. What's Lisa saying? Is on the screen. The box is only useful to flip over and step up on itself. Also helps us reach the top of the shelves for shorties. Right? Right. It has a purpose. The box does have a purpose. You got to be innovative with the box, right? You got to think about the box differently. Destiny, the system not designed for the human spirit. No. And so the system is, it's about that connecting, that if we see everybody as the same, and that's kind of the way the system designed, that we all are to be reflected or to be able to learn the same, or it's a pattern, right? It's designed for a 80-20 rule, right? So 80% would be able to connect to it, 20% wouldn't. And so, most things are designed by an 80-20 rule. Even the things that we can accept and not accept are by 80-20 rules. And so that, it may work for 80, but what about the other 20%? And if you think about 20% of the world, that's a pretty large number. If you think about 20% of a age group, it's a pretty large number, right? In comparison, when you do it in comparison to, and trust me, I don't regret having my diplomas on the wall at all. I'm very thankful for them. But I'm also a permanent student. Like, I'm always somewhere learning, studying, something like that. But I don't beat myself up over not being able to learn the same way as somebody else learns, right? It's like, recognize that, but that comes with age and growing up and being an adult. Yes, the cooking world is a beautiful world. It truly is. This is going to be number 2 for me. Let's see. Rhonda, hello. Oh, thank you. I love you. So miss seeing everybody. Right, you make yourself happy. Exactly. Interesting. Don't even think I can even read that comment. I've been working hard on loving myself and trusting myself. No negativity, all positive and positive self-talk. Good, Jennifer. I always say is that, it's like the way I've been really connecting is because negative and positive has such a broad spectrum and of energy behind it. So pleasant and unpleasant. Does that feel pleasant to me? Does it not? Is it feeling like, does that connect with me, right? Does that resonate with me? Because, there are areas where we have to really look at, and then we're like, yes, there's truth in it, but it doesn't feel pleasant to me. And I have to kind of process my way of how to deal with it so that we don't neglect the areas that we need to look into. I'm going through a transition, not sure what my next move should be. Yeah, and I think, Rhonda, I don't know if you were in right in the beginning, but I talked about there's major shifts really truly happening within us and through us. We have all been through some, it's been a tough few years, and we can never be who we used to be. Going through the losses and the changes and the things in our lives, we can never go back to who we used to be. There's no way. Who can I be? Who do I need to be on the other side of my experiences? And that's where you really truly, if you can ask yourself that question with with patience and with compassion and kindness for where you've been, for the journey, for all of those things. And I just wrote a prayer, and I just posted the prayer on the page. Um, and I think I'll read that prayer to you as well. So these little tiny cards, they're little tiny cards. And this came in a journal that I had so long ago, and I never ever took it out. But these are love and light angel cards, and they were in with a journal. My sister-in-law gave this to me well before I ever even worked in this career. Like, she gave me this, and it was and so uh and so the book comes with like all these little things. And earlier, or just before I started, when I was waiting to come in, it was like the Metatron suit popped up, and I'm like, Metatron has been around all day. I was talking to Metatron as I was driving. I had to drive into Edmonton and back out again. And so yes, it's as if the world has been in the dark night of the soul the last couple of years. Definite transformation. Yes, exactly, Moles. And that's where, like, I've been through that dark night of the soul. I wrote my books through the dark night of the soul. And we are about to release my second book, which is My Truth Beyond the Reflection. And the one thing that I really truly know that I have not done, and by choice, is, you stop trying to justify things, or you stop defending, it's like, I'm no longer ever playing into that guilt energy, like being guilted into it, or being, it's that kind of energy pretty much almost wiped me out. But that place that we travel in, the dark night of the soul, to go to those places, and the world has been going through it. The world is not fully out of it. We need to have a lot of love and compassion for the things that are happening in the world. And when we look at even the war that's happening right now, the one thing that should keep us all humble is that any of these things can happen to us tomorrow. We never know, but we never know what the next moment of our lives brings. We don't. So it's like being able to create some sort of heaven on earth, or some sort of way, finding our way into some sort of heaven on earth, takes that sense of, finding that spark, and holding that spark, and feeding that spark, and being that spark. But also knowing that you can't be the spark for everyone else when your spark is not bright enough to be it. Like, if you can't drop everything in your life because somebody else may be on demand of you, because when you do, it will take so much from you. And then you start to not be able to decipher between somebody else's energy and yours. So if somebody else is severely going through those hard times, you believe that that's all your weight, that's all your energy, that's all yours, and you become the carrier of their pain, and you lose that sense of the spark. And so, knowing that you can have compassion and caring, but also knowing that there's such an importance into caring for ourselves is important. And the world is a bit much. It really is. And to intentionally to cause like so much hurt to each other. It's awful. I can't, like, I don't know. I can't even wrap my head around that part. So, yeah. So we're just doing the angelic realm connection, and I have to find these. And so we have this card right here, and I'm going to find this tree. And as you look, it just fell in my hand. This is a healing type of, like I said earlier, when I first came in, I was in Edmonton today in a big group. I did a big group reading in Edmonton today. So my energy for channeling through is definitely a little bit lower, but something told me to come in here, or not lower, tired. So, but something told me to come in. So here we are. And I'm just finding this card for us. Hold on. Give me a second. I got no glasses, I don't think, though. Hold on. I'm looking. They all look alike because they're all like this. And so they all tie in. But you got to find them. And finding them is sometimes not easy. So just give me a second. These cards teach you a lot about patience. Page 10. Look at that. And page 36. Here we go. So this is the card of our night. This is what our card looks like. It almost looks like an arrowhead, right? That's what it looks like to us. And this card represents the heart's, Shekinah's heart quest suit. So this is about our hearts. I'm so happy you came in too. I'm so happy everybody is here. So this is about our heart's quest. And in a duality, so this one represents the and it's Gabrielle, and it represents action, correction, balance, and meditation. And it has a lot of the reds, the blues, the purples. The purples tie into our third eye. The red connects into the root chakra. The blue is your throat energy chakra. And then, of course, it has what looks like the medical sign, which also like that serpent. And that serpent represents healing. And if you know about some other aspects of like astrology, and you know about the cobra energy. And so in Aries for like a couple years, I think it is now is when this cobra energy has like stepped in. And this cobra energy is really, truly making us really dig deep. It feels a lot like Chiron kind of energy. And Chiron makes us really, truly, it's the unhealed healer. It makes you be able to go into that healing energy. But the cobra is about really, truly shedding the old, like shedding old skin, being free. But also it challenges us. It's also when you feel challenged or challenging energy comes in. But it also is, and so if you've already been on the other end of that and you're already coming through that and you've already done the work, or you've been really truly putting a lot of effort in, then you're like really truly like in that place of that healing journey, like really taking a stand and saying, no effing way. I'm not doubting myself because somebody else is throwing their bullshit, right? Like, and taking that strong presence. In a duality world, you must reconcile many balances and spiritual laws to find oneness. You are an ancient soul who came out of oneness and can often feel separated and I don't know what this is. Marinated in Earth's present duality. But I, Gabrielle, bring Jamel law of three and wisdom to offer you a loving path of unity to rediscover that feeling of perfectly belonging that you now seek. Three triads of three are the angel hierarchy, 9 groups in total, mirrored in mankind by 3 groups of chakra, root, sacral, and solar plexus, heart, high heart, thymus, throat, third eye, and crown. This is all the energy centers that we had. And so this is now deepening. So you can't make this up. So we're talking about the angels. This card is here to help us deepen our angelic connection, connect deeper into the virtues of self. And it works up through the spine energy, and bringing that energy down, the masculine energy down, and the lunar feminine energies that are coming in from Earth, so Mother Earth, and also the masculine energy that's also coming in. And it's really truly connecting us into that sense of oneness, that we all came from one. So when we're so determined to be, that to be so judgmental of each other, is that you also have to remember we're all of the same place. We all came from the same place. We're all conditioned differently. We've been raised in fear or in belief systems. We've been all of those things. And this is us finding our way back into oneness. And it's like the more we believe ourselves to be separated, which is what we spoke about earlier. And so believing ourselves to be separated from oneness, from the universal energy, to be separated from ourselves. It's like when we say, oh, I feel like I'm so far away from myself. I don't know who I am. No, we often know who we are. We have forgotten who we are because we've become so busy trying to be something, trying to be greater. And that's a big part of, on the other side of healing, is also in the power of understanding of watch the world and how leadership unfolds. A really good leader, you may never really know who the leader is in the pack because they have no desire to really step up and out, but they are very influential. They have that sense of conviction. They know they know who they are and why they do what they do. And they don't doubt those choices and decisions that they have to make, but they make the decisions that are better for all instead of one. Well, that's us inside of ourselves, being able to make those choices and decisions that are better for you, that really truly help you, that really truly are like that. Helping you helps other people. And when you can step into that truth, that's when we start to be able to move into being able to trust ourselves. So we do have a lot of that rooted energy. Knowing us is knowing our connection, knowing who we are. And, people, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in that. Well, you all believe in something, right? You all believe in something. But it's like, and so a lot of the things that everyone's always fighting over is the same shit, just taught a different way, just given to you in a different way. And when you stop, and when the world stops fighting over those things, and the only thing that separates us in culture, in countries, is the fact that you're giving things to cause divide, right? So we have been really truly caught in a society, especially the last few years, that's all about divide, divide and conquer. The oneness and the come back together, and that's why the angelic realm is here. Come back into you, and you will see the world as unity. You will not have near as much that you hate on in the world, or that you're fighting with in the world, and you will not feel the need to be so defensive of that self in the world, because we have been so programmed to that fear story, to be divide. And so when you stop being fed the fear and stop holding on to the fear, and you start to move into that higher vibrational energy of faith, and seeing yourself in the vibrational energy as the same being, as maybe you're not the celestial beings, but you're of the same energy, you're of the same love, you're of the same oneness. It's all from that same frequency. So what if that angelic energy is within you? What if that is the highest aspect of yourself? That there's a possibility that you have that kind of goodness in you. So why do you wait for that goodness to come in to be the savior of your world, when you can be that savior of yourself in your own world, right? And so it just gives us something to think about. And I spend a lot of time thinking about that kind of stuff. And the more that you think about what you can do in your own world, it's amazing how that sense of peace. So this is our card. This is peace. This is Archangel Azrael. And Azrael really truly is, really connected into the spirit world, and bringing spirit world into humanity. Is that spirit world has always been walking on earth, walking since humans have been here, because you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And so you are a spirit, you are the essence. So when people say to me like, oh, I want to be able to connect to spirit world, or how do I know spirit is there? I said, well, do you know you're there? Do you know you're here? Can can you really know you're here? Yes. Well, your spirit, you have a physical body, but that energy is spirit as well, and spirit is all around us. And so when we start to release the past, the thing that holds us hostage to not being able to believe in ourselves or to have those doubts that own us, is that we get so caught up in and feeling like we're separated from self, or we're separated from other people, playing out that even holier than thou, like laying out all freaking blame responsibility on everyone else, and it's nothing me, and I can't be around those people because that's what those people are like, and those people are, and we see it often, especially in this line of work. We get it all the time, that we're constantly being, judged and criticized for having faith. And it may not be the faith that somebody else may have, but are we, as long as we're acting in love and light, shouldn't that be what the world should be made up of? Is beautiful love and light. And if we can be beautiful beings. And so releasing that past of feeling like you have, that we should hide more, or that we should be in hiding, or that we should be divided, we should be separated. It's like releasing that. And that starts to be able to bring us into a life of feeling what I like to call wealthy, right? Is that that sense of a wealthy, abundant life is what's enriching your life, what brings that sense of blossoming. And so if you look at a flower, so Azrael is telling me to look at a flower. So you see a flower and you see it budding and it opens up, and you have that memory of it budding. So you see the beauty of a blossomed open flower. And then you don't, the work that goes into opening it. So the process, the hurt process, the pushing out, what happens in that process, it's like you don't see that as beautiful, you don't see that as part of the beautiful process. You wait for only the blossoming, and then it's that essence of, then all you remember is that. But what about that opening, and what about the smell of after, like leaning into, and then leaning into the smell, leaning into that connection. So being able to know that wherever you have been, your lowest moments are your most defining moments. And those lowest moments are those pain moments that has such a beauty when you look back with such love and compassion for where you have been. When you can look back at you and say, oh, yeah, I was there. That did happen. But I made it and I did it. And so instead of just only being waiting or excited about those blossoming moments that you had, looking in and that smell the roses or smell the flowers, stop and smell, is stop and acknowledge the whole process. And that's how you start to know that you don't run away from the versions of you. You don't break, you can't get rid of your shadow self. You can't get rid of it's all, you'll never drop your memories. Your memories will all be there. But knowing that the whole process is the big part of what you want to hold on to. The big part of the process is all part of the creation of you. You have to lean into you and breathe into it, and really truly like breathe in and create that memory, create that beautiful, I did do that. And that's where true pride, that's where oneness starts to come together, and that's where we start to connect. And that's a big part of the celestial message, because that brings us into connecting then into our light and into activating our sense of our light body. If you go into the school, it's a free one, but there's a free light body activation class that's in there that you can, I think it's free. You can go in and you can still take it. I think it's a meditation that's still in there. And, and so looking at 13, when you think superstition, you think 13 is an unlucky number. No, they made 13. They created a story around making 13 an unlucky number, or a number that would be like a bad number, or like a superstition, because they wanted to incorporate the clock of 12, right? And so, like there's many, I mean, that's one story, but there's many reasons why 13 would, so this was somebody's story. Somebody created a story around the superstition of 13 and then told it and repeated it and repeated it and repeated it and repeated it to cause like that sense of if it lands on a Friday 13th, you're having the shittiest day of your life. So if you wake up on Friday 13th and you already told yourself you're going to have a shitty day, you're going to have a shitty day. And that's right. And so to me, 13 is a magical number. To me, 13 is a power number. To me, 13 is a new beginning. It's a new opportunity. It's that sense of, when we've come full circle of the, a cycle of 12, then we got a 13, we got another number. So it's a 4 or it's a 2. So it's like, how do you look at it? And so opening our third eye, opening up to gain new perspectives is that we can see in a broader spectrum, be able to look at life differently. And that's how we're able to be able to go through our transformations. That's how transformation truly takes place. And if your mind is limited, if you get stuck in the limited mind, your transformation is limited. You become limited because the systems still own you. You still have that defined, definite of step by step of how we think we should go or how we think things should be. And so, yeah. Oh, thank you, Lisa. And Lisa just posted the link to the free light activation. So she just posted that, and it's a free light activation. It was I taught it I taught a free webinar, and then down the road, I taught another one. So coming up, so let me talk a little bit now about what's coming up. So we do have Strengthen Your Psychic Abilities. It's all online, and you can sign up on the website on morethanexistingacademy.com, or go directly to CorrieThorne.com. Go to Facebook and go through the events, and in the events it's there, and that is Strengthening That Psychic Ability. It's a 1-day course, and that's happening June the 11th. And then we have the Rainbow Connection, which is another light activation weekend workshop. And that weekend workshop is coming up. Yep, that was me. Just doing that little E. The weekend workshop is coming up May the 28th, from May the 28th and the 29th. It is 2 days. Online, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And that one is a full weekend. It's a healing, it's light activation. It is being able to connect into that beautiful self in such a way that it's the essence of becoming benevolent and being kind and compassionate at the ultimate levels to ourselves. Right? Born on 13th hour. See, you did it. Just pure luck, right? He's blessed into that. And I think that's the only ones we have up yet. Yeah. So those two are coming up soon. I do have an in-person one that will be happening as well. But that date is changing. And then, yeah. And so there's more going to be coming up. I do have some more 1-day things that are going to also be coming up. Releasing the book right away here soon. So My Truth Beyond the Reflection, the second book to my series, is coming out. My first book is More Than Existing. You see behind the salt lamp. That's available on Amazon. But I want to end with this. Jennifer, I literally spoke with my friend about this tonight. Faith over fear, right? And so both are invisible. Both are invisible energy. So why is it, if it's invisible energy, can fear have such a power and be so much more powerful than faith? Why is it easy for us to lose faith and gain fear? Right? It's in both are invisible energy. It's all the ability of the imagination to bring it into reality. And when you can bring it into reality, you create it. and you snowball it and you make it bigger than what it needs to be. And then you find more people who are all about the fear story. And it's amazing how many people will like send me, oh my God, did you see this happening in the world? Or, oh my God, did you see that? And I said, yeah, I could see that, or I can pray for the highest good and pray for hope, pray with hope and faith that we see change. So I can read that and I could let my light get dim and I could fall out of my faith and say, oh my God, the world is an awful place. Or I can go into that sense of sitting with light and love and praying and just not making any demands, but just sending love and light out into the world. And so I'd rather send love and light out into the world than to send more fear into the world. And same thing with my paintings. Like my paintings come from such a place that when they come, there's such light in them. There's such, you can feel it. There's a sense to it. And it's very childlike. And it's that very childlike energy. So this is the prayer, right? And faith. Yeah, exactly. Faith over fear, always. And so this is the prayer that I shared on Facebook. I wish I had glasses up here, but I don't. If my dogs could go get me some glasses. Dear God, and whatever God means to you, don't take words and let words have such a hold on you that you stop listening, right? It's like whatever that means to you. Because when I write it, don't make assumptions about what it means to me, right? Like really, truly what it means to you. So I write these from channeling through. And so I write these every day. And you can actually order your own custom prayer. Like if you go into my website, you can actually order your own custom prayer. It takes a couple days, and then I channel through, and whatever it is that you're seeing, I ask for that prayer to be written. Dear God, I understand clearly that I may be a lot of work. I get that I have failed myself behind closed doors. Is it true that I can't fail you? I can only fail myself. With the following thoughts of disappointment and the disheartening sadness of the lies I would tell myself as I placed on a mask to step out and into the world of judgment and criticism, filled with many more who may too have disappointed themselves in their yesterdays and in the earlier hours of their today. I can see how you must either laugh or have such compassion for us. Are you cheering us on? And are we to become a cheerleader like you? Today, open not just my heart, but the hearts of those that occupy space in this world. Open our eyes to see the impact of our little white lies that become big as we play out the act of a story we call life. Sometimes with a knowing and with many big breaths, and take fives before we get it right. Pretending takes work. And we are so good at pretending that we start to believe it as long as we are occupied. But God, I don't want to fail at simply being me, hidden at home or out in the world exposed. Open our eyes to see that if we would softly breathe when the doors closed, that we knew we were safe to be honestly loving and kind to ourselves, not destructive and unkind with those words and those thoughts. Give me the strength and the courage to stop failing and living in disappointment behind closed doors. Allow me to be the best version of me when no one is looking. I ask of you, God, to guide us with grace through moments of rehearsal of being kind to ourselves, so that when we do open the doors to our sacred space, that those who are of the same love, kindness, and who are not masked and is loyal to truth and the graces beyond our doors. Fill our homes, our hearts, and our minds with such love that we will live the same behind and beyond those doors. And guide me to always see that you didn't ask me to succeed at being me for another, but for me. God, bring into our lives those who align to the mission of living, not fearing the truth, and a passion for loyalty. Bring those who can help me grow without giving me more reason to want to give up and shrink to the floor when I close the door. God, help me to clarify the not so pretty stuff that I allowed into the purity of my virtues because I thought my lies were the truth when I just could not see my very own truth was more than enough. God, teach and inspire me to live authentic to my soul's desire, to live with pure intention, to always speak truth with love to myself and those I love. God, I ask that we can live not just in a beautiful space behind closed doors, but that we can be beautiful and kind to ourselves to complement the spaces that we occupy. Amen. Inspired by prayers and written prayers of Corrie Thorne. And so in the academy, I have a course that's called The Power of Prayer. And it's the ability to go in and spend 1 week for 7 weeks with one prayer for a week that I will give the guide to. And then after the 7 weeks of that dedication to your own prayer, and then in the moments of meditation after, to be able to listen. We ask in prayer, and we receive the messages with love in silence. And I have spent a lot of time this past winter in silence. I've spent a lot of time being quiet. I've been on my knees in pain, in hurt, in sadness, and trying to find my way back up. And I question a lot of whys. And we can be very unkind to ourselves when the doors close. We can show up into the world. We can be what the world needs and the people need us to be in it. But when we cannot be it to ourselves is when we should truly recognize how separated from ourselves we really are, and how important that it is that we come back to ourselves. Because when I'm begging to no longer have to be able to live on this freaking earth, because I can't take the hurt, that pain of those harsh words and harsh energies that come in, is like, that means that I am not in alignment to myself, and or you either, like any of us. And so finding that space, and for me, a lot of this came in those prayers, came in painting. And as I would paint, and as these paintings would come, I would hear those voices of the celestial realm, of the divine, of Jesus, of whoever spoke through. And I would feel it in such a way that I knew that I had to be worth fighting for, right? And so I knew that I had to be everything that I needed to be in the world. I also needed it to be for me, as you need to be it for you. It is so important. So really, truly teaching and guiding from that place of knowing that we're not a step by step. We're not a color by numbers. We're not any of that. We're not designed that way. That there's that creative expression of who we are, and that authentic self and authenticity that we have is in us being able to paint ourselves beautiful, to live in the fear. And that's what my new series is called. It's called Paint Me Beautiful. And it's the essence of being able to look in at ourselves and see ourselves without criticism, without judgment. Because the more that we can do that for ourselves, the more that we will no longer be that with, out in the world either. So find our way through there. And so the second book has become like a real baby. It has been given so much love, so much dedication, and just written from a place of just knowing that the things that we love and that we put such work into, like our family, the people that I teach, the work that I put out there, so much love. And as for you too, and that we got to put that much love into our personal selves, just not always just what we show the world, not what we give to the world, but when nobody is looking. How do you treat yourself when nobody's looking? How do you speak to yourself when nobody is around? It's also important. And that's why the celestial realm's here with us today. That's what they're here to tell us. And for us to hold that and to be true to that and come from that place within our hearts for self as much as we try to be for everyone else. It's so important. So thank you for being with me, for taking these crazy journeys. I never know what's coming. And I always say when I'm not going to choose, when I'm not going to personally select cards, you see the numbers drop down because they're not getting a card. But the message is a message of unity. It's a message that is for every one of us, and they're channeled messages. They are channeled through the divine. I don't create these messages, and so this is, I always say, stay until the end, because the message isn't unfolding, it's an unraveling. I am tapping into the energy of all of your spirits, all that is asked of what is needed for the highest good, and connecting in there and being that oracle and the voice of those messages. So always stay until the end. And yeah, and that's the whole thing of more than existing is, at the end of the story, we always see that best. Can you see the you at the end of all of your difficult situations, and you'll see your virtuous angelic self standing there. You've done great things in hard times to get to where you are, and that's the part that you hold on to, and that's the aspects of selves that are very strong, very beautiful, and has done some very courageous things. So remember that of yourself. Much love. Have a beautiful night and a beautiful rest of your weekend. And I will be back next week sometime. Much love, and much love from Sid over there. Jazz is sleeping, showing off their Adidas sweaters tonight. See you all soon. Bye-bye.